I had a drive in my MK7 Golf R, so I wanted to go through a few of your comments on this one. And I noticed a little bit of an issue with, and I hope this helps people out, with the revs over revving basically, but the car not moving. I'd never experienced it before. I literally had only experienced it in about a week or two building up to the video that I did, and I just asked you guys, what do you think it is? It wasn't an issue with traction. The car was like half an hour warmed up, and I was pin straight, third gear, so you're not traction. That's not going to be the issue on that side. Yeah, and you put your foot down hard in sort of like 3,000, 4,000 revs, and the revs sort of go and then go back down. Watch the video, link above if you want to see what I mean. And a lot of you guys commented, including like mechanics and all sorts of people who are enthusiastic about the car, and said it's the clutch slipping. And just to give you a little bit of backstory, it's not a cheap fix, unfortunately, to change the clutch. When you change the clutch, it's always recommended to change the flywheel. If you want to get those sort of things changed, you're looking at 6 hours labour. I live in the UK, near London, so 6 hours labour, for example, at a VW dealer local to me, they charge about £146 per hour. A clutch from VW is sort of around like 400, and I think like a flywheel is about 600. So do your maths, it's not cheap. So you have to kind of look around, and I've sort of been getting quotes from all over the place because frankly I want to pay the least and obviously get the most quality. But I'll feed that back to you in a future video. I'm still sort of torn between sort of like an upgraded clutch, because my car's only done 35,000 miles. I do not drive it hard, it's my pride and joy. Check out my channel for the last 4.5 years and judge for yourself. So very disappointed that the clutch is gone. It's just the fact that it's not as strong as it potentially should be for a car of this power and weight. It's lugging around more weight with the Haldex system. I think the whole thing combined unfortunately means that it will slip. Personally, I think it should have gone another, well, the mechanics I spoke to said it should hit 70,000 miles. I probably disagree with that because it's a performance car. I would say it should be hitting 50,000 miles. 35, starting to slightly slip. I haven't really noticed it again, if I'm honest with you, but I am just getting quotes and sort of getting the feelers of it. Car drives fine, other than that full throttle every now and then. So let's just go through some of your comments because they were really, really helpful. So I'm just going to sort of rack through this because I wasn't too sure of what to go for. One of the comments said about the research and to go for a Sachs organic clutch, and then how they might go to the stage 1. I'm not into the modifying kind of scene, but I do like a specialist looking after my car, so I've got nothing wrong with like a specialist like dealership, for example, some of the ones I've been in contact with, actually fitting the part because they know it inside and out. Whereas it's not an everyday occurrence. A lot of people obviously change their clutches when they're going to bigger power, so performance specialists are actually quite used to it. But yeah, Sachs Organics clutch was one. It's a little bit more expensive. They're sort of around £500. I am concerned about the pedal feel, if it's OEM type feel. Also, I might not keep the car forever, and not everyone would want a stiffer clutch if it's upgraded, even if it would last longer. But I do appreciate all your comments, and so many people helping me out actually on this, because it isn't a nice thing to happen. You're looking at a minimum bill of sort of £1,000, including labour and parts, and that's what I'm sort of hoping for. Rising, well, I had quotes of up to £3,000, but I will share that in the future. And I'm not like your typical YouTuber who is going to get sort of discounts or parts or anything like that, nor would I want to, because I like to keep it in the community. I like to keep it unbiased. I'm sharing my honest opinion. But yeah, if you do watch the YouTube car automotive world and you see people stripping and changing their cars inside and out, it's because it's a business and because they've probably been given the parts and stuff for free. So of course they're going to be very happy and smiley and promoting about it, because it's not coming out of their hard-earned pocket, plus they're getting a video of AdSense, etc, etc. I could go on, but to summarise, it's not a nice thing. I'm just a normal person. It's pretty shit. So yeah, a lot of people have been sort of saying that clutch slip around 32,000 miles. And then, to be fair, even saying when they went to the new clutch, they still had issues, because obviously if you go to a more reinforced clutch, but then if you up the power at stage 1, stage 2, naturally that wears more parts. The higher performance car, the more like stress on the parts. It's no brainer. If I'd driven this car eco, which I do drive it a lot actually, quite sensibly, it's just obviously the occasional blast, have some fun. There's no doubt, if you never touched any of the modes, you could easily run it to 70,000 miles without any problems. But yeah, it's just not the full reason why people get these kind of cars. People saying +1 for Sachs. It's a stiffer than stock, but they found it fine. Just to reference, the stock clutch from VW is a Sachs clutch. Sachs make other types of clutches. They make the organic clutch, the reinforced clutch. They make the RTS clutch, I believe, is actually just a version of the Sachs clutch. They're all just kind of the same, just rebranded. That's the kind of research that I've been digging into this week. But yeah, it's a stronger, stiffer, tougher clutch. You can actually go for like a single mass flywheel as well, but you get sort of like what I've heard is like a lot of like clatter and noise from it. But it's obviously very reinforced. They're also about £1,000. The stock flywheel, which to be fair, no one said to not go for, even if you go for bigger power, is a dual mass flywheel. But from what I've heard about that, although it sounds better in terms of it doesn't make any noise, because it's a dual mass and there's more movable parts, they wear quicker, because that's just how it works. So yeah, that's why I'll be getting the flywheel changed as well, just from my research. But I will share in a specific video, because I understand it's kind of going off topic of what I wanted to talk about. People saying I was always worried about an upgraded clutch. I'll be interested to see how you get on. Well, I might not go for an upgraded clutch. I'm sort of on the fence, slightly leaning towards OEM. I know some people might be unhappy with that, but ultimately it's my car, my money, and I, get as much advice you can from everyone you can, but make your own decision. Mine went at 18k, paid about £900. 18k is very early, but it depends how you use the car. But yeah, really just sad about that, and yeah, hopefully it's good to get the feedback from you guys that you're kind of seeing the same. Other people saying that they did it on the GTIs as well, because it's a similar clutch. Someone saying something else, not really relevant to anything. They're saying it's the same as the GTI. Some people saying should have gone DSG. Well, no. I'm happy with my manual, and yeah. Ultimately, you have to have a DSG oil change every couple of years, whereas with the manual you don't, because it has sort of like the gearbox oil is like lifelong. And I did check this kind of stuff out, because I thought that might be the reason, but apparently you just don't need to change that. Certainly not until you're sort of well into like 100,000 miles or something. Some people saying the day was going to come and the clutches are bad. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that, and I will feed back in a future video on that. I'm still going to have fun in the car. It's still driving all right. I am gutted and I am a bit down about it all, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, a few things going through my head of what to do. But, I do appreciate all your help. And actually, one of the reasons why I started up the channel was for a bit of that community feel, because the parts that I hate about sort of the car ownership side of things is all those external factored costs, which are kind of out of your control. I can't control the labour rates in this country. I can't control part supply issues. All those things you can't get away with. I can't credit the car enough. It's a great car. Very little has gone wrong outside of a normal Golf. This is probably the first time that I've had anything other than doing a Haldex service, which you have to do with the four-wheel drive system. Nothing's actually been affected because of the power, other than this clutch issue, which is a shame. But let's see how we get on. Having checked in with a few garages, it doesn't look like anywhere really has any chance of doing it even in December. So I'll probably maybe even looking back to January before I can actually get this sorted. But it gives me time to get some proper quotes and to get the best price for the best quality that I possibly can. And I will feed back, and I'll also show you a list of all kind of the different quotes I got, which is interesting. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Comment below. Cheers, guys.